After a very long time, we are starting this Gravitas Win show again. I'm very happy. It has been a long break. I've been thinking for quite some time we should start this, and I didn't know how to do it. Whether it should be a book review that we had, or should we discuss any business topics, and so on and so forth. And as you all know, KK and Satya met in Coimbatore. And Satya put a message, "Hey Joseph, we should restart." I thought, okay, fine. This is what it is. This is the last nudge that I need to start. And here we are. So thank you, Satya, for offering to take this particular session. And I think as the Gravitas Wins, the main theme is it's about thinking and learning and community and everything. I think it's a very appropriate topic to learn and think, and visual communication and so on and so forth. So I'm very happy about that. And thank you, Sukhwinder ji. You've always been very supporter of everything that I do. Same with Gagan. Just now, Gagan was talking as well. So Naman, thank you for being here. Absolutely, I enjoy this particular company. Over to you, Satya.
Thanks, Joseph. Thanks. And welcome back. So really happy to kickstart this virtual meetups among our community. So as Joseph mentioned, I'll try to share my experience in using mind mapping in whatever format that I'm using, multiple ways. So I'll give you a quick backstory. Maybe like, for example, an incident that happened last week is that so I work with a company called Logdays, and they are Shopify app development agency. So after 4 years or 5 years, so Shopify has conducted this global in-person event, so which happened in Canada, and apparently my boss went to participate in that. So he was in US, Canada for past like 20 days or something like that. But the important point is that after he came back last week, we had our review meeting. And I was quite nervous, especially him after coming from the Shopify event and all those things. And I didn't know how to, I was nervous, I was anxious. My team was nervous, my team was anxious. So what I did was, just to calm myself down. So what I did was, so I created a mind map. So this is, I'm using a software called Xmind. Created this mind map to basically jot down. I think this I did it on Monday or something like that, and we had our meeting around Tuesday, and a couple of more meetings after that. So I just wanted to know just wanted to brain dump and think about what happened over the past week. So these are the things that we completed, and so these are my team members. I started jotting it down, and for individual team member, I started jotting on what we want to do in the coming weeks. So I lead their marketing team, and we create videos, blogs, etc. For the company and the products. So I started quickly jotting it down. The funny thing is that, funny thing is that I'm looking at this mind map after 5 days. Okay, I did not present this mind map to my team. I did not use this or refer this mind map again at all for my review meeting. But good that the good news is that the review meeting went well. My bosses appreciated the work that the team has done. We are seeing some progress. We did not get affected by Google Core update, etc., etc. All these things happen. But prior to that, this mind map really helped. Okay, did not help in like planning the review meeting itself, but what it helped is that it helped me calm down my nerves. It helped me objectively see what is before me, what I could discuss with my team, with my boss, or present or what not to present in a more. So basically, these are thoughts, concerns frozen on a canvas, so that I'm distancing myself with what has happened and my feelings or emotions about it. And this gave me some kind of stability to attend the review meeting, to facilitate the review meeting a little more what to say, like balanced this one. So the point I'm trying to make here is that so mind mapping, many of the times, like once we search for mind mapping, we think of mind mapping for note taking, we think of mind mapping for planning, reviewing, etc. Those are the things that we think of. But the other thing that I'm repeatedly getting back from mind mapping is that it's helping me to regulate my emotions or anxiety or concerns, etc. Because it's giving me a canvas to dump my thoughts and ideas onto. So this is something that I wanted to share in this workshop, and also we will quickly cover the technique. Also, the technique is quite simple, and I'll quickly cover that. Again, once again, I'm mic check. Am I audible enough? Is it clear? My screen is visible enough? Just
Yeah,
wanted to check.
Yes.
it's clear. I think it is clear for others also.
Okay.
Yeah, it is interesting. If I may ask a question, I don't know whether others have that question. So one of the things that you said is you are able to dump everything, and that gives you that helps you handle anxiety really well.
Correct.
I would like that particular thing little more. Not now. It could be over the session as well. Is that all of us have so many things in our mind. We want to achieve a lot of stuff. Even in office, there are multiple projects that are going on, all the levels that we are talking about, right? Like, Sukundir is handling he's leading a company. Gagan is a senior in the company. So all of us will have multiple projects going on, multiple things that are going on in our lives. How do you handle that anxiety? How do you dump that anxiety onto this is something that I would like to know, but you can answer it as you go along.
Again, I'll tell from my experience. So this is one mind mapping, this one where I use it for dumping ideas. So if you can see I'm not sure whether it is visible here. As you can see, I have created like mind map for each of the dates, like July 4th, July 1st, July 1st. So July 1 week. So I needed another mind map. For example, even today, I have a mind map on July 6th. And there was a discussion that I wanted to have with a team member. So I did another mind map. June 30th, I had a journaling session. So some people take an Evernote or a Google Doc, they can do it. I do that also. I'm a big Evernote and Google Docs user. But for me, when I have to put down raw emotions, when I find it little difficult to articulate any thoughts or ideas, full sentence format, I prefer to use a mind mapping thing, because in mind mapping, I have the luxury of not completing a thought. Okay, so this is something that I found really, really useful, because many times when I'm capturing it, for example, this mind map is not at all complete. If I have to have like another 20 minutes to complete it. But the thing is that even though it is incomplete, like Joseph mentioned, it actually helped me calm my nerve down. Then I created another Google Doc where I had all the metrics, which I made a presentation and facilitated the meeting. So that was done separately. But this was like a pre-preparation exercise or something like that, just for my like this one. Yeah, but I completely agree. The concept of freezing one's thought externally, or ideas or feelings or emotion externally, seems to be quite helpful, especially people like us when our work demands a lot of cognitive effort, and it is far more emotionally attached. So we do a lot of creative work where emotions play a far more key role. We are not doing it just physical work. We are doing more mentally taxing work. So those kind of places, I think these kind of exercises could be used. And mind mapping is one format which I think could apply based on your preference also. Or you can always open up an Evernote or a Notion, whichever your preferred, or simply a notebook. So I do live like this. Like for example, let me show you today's thing. So I have this thing. So I have like a 4-question format. I try to capture it like whenever I sit and try to do. So what are my concerns? What are the things that positively happening? What I'm hoping for? What I have next or something. Finally, I'll show another thing. Seems like a little meta here. So today, the presentation, I wanted to start it with the story. And I wanted to talk about how the mind map helped me in the last week's review meeting. And I mind mapped that. The story itself, I mind mapped that. So my boss was there, Canada. So I was feeling anxious, nervous. I did this mind map. I had to show this mind map. Help me calm my nerves down. So I did this I got this idea just like before lunch, and I mind mapped this like 2 hours before, so that it's just capturing my thoughts and ideas on a canvas. I didn't refer it because it's a casual conversation. Maybe it was, if the stakes were a little high, maybe I would have referred it. But I just wanted to capture that idea, and I thought that it's a good story to tell to start the session and do this. So 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 this is a practice. I think it's sort of little uncommon use case for mind mapping, or it is not spoken loudly in this perspective, but it can be done in multiple ways. I'll stop a bit little here. Like maybe I'll give a like 1 minute breathing space or something like that. Like, what is your impression? I just wanted to get the crowd's impression about it, or maybe even do an interactive exercise based on the impression.
Yeah, if any of you have any questions or any other, kind of fundamentally I didn't understand, please ask. So one thing that I derived, Satya, what you are saying is that you don't have to complete the thought.
Yeah.
You can just pour what is there with probably, like, I saw you the one that you showed. You can just dump in half-filled, half-finished thoughts. You can just put that in. So that's a good insight, at least for me. Yeah. Anybody else has any questions, any comments?
Yeah, just one thing, Satya. How do you, like, let's say today you have prepared a mind map, and then do you also review that mind map after 1 week, or you keep it for a particular task, and when that task is finished, you discard that? So is there specific purpose for which the mind maps are used?
Yeah, like with any like externalizing thought exercises, there are few things I want to go back and refer. There are few things I just do it for the sake of externalizing it. Okay, so both, there are things that I just don't want to go and look back. So daily journaling thing, I don't even go and look back. But for example, like these kind of mind maps where I'm articulating my thoughts. For example, I can show you an example soon. Like, for example, I was trying to publish a website, and I was drafting the sitemap for the entire website. So that is something that will be used for until the design is completed. So it's a storage doc. Certain things need not be storage. Certain things could be write it down and tear the paper away. kind of. Yeah.
Amit?
Yeah.
So my question for Satya is like, if we compare it with Logstack, which also has a similar purpose where I can jot down my notes. So how is it different? I understand from a visual perspective, but is it like, does it solve different purpose as compared to Logstack?
Logstack or any like Notion, if you take Rome Research, Obsidian, or something like that, I think they're basically breadcrumb outliners, right? Like at the end of the day, if you look at it's a bullet point, then you have intended bullet points and more intended bullet points,
Right.
like that, something like that. I'll show you one again. I'll show you another example. So this is the presentation that I prepared. This is a presentation I prepared long back for another mind mapping thing. Again, I think I'll connect it with Gagan's question. So this is a storage mind map, meaning that this is a mind map that I'll keep repeatedly using. So I'm not going to tear it away unlike a daily journaling app. So here, I'm using the desktop app version. So I can see it as an outliner also. Can you see the outliner version of it?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's just open it up. It's the same thing. For example, if I'm having 3 processes, I wanted to talk about this emotional, for the lack of better way of saying, regulation. So this one. So when I go to the mind map view, you can see the emotional regulation is added here. Okay. The advantage, I don't want to be like this mind map, hard on or something like that. It just gives a different way of looking at it. It's a simply a pretty bullet list, right? At the end of the day, it's nothing more than that. And it is sort of structurally presenting it. Some people say this is how we think our brain is structured like that. I am not completely buying into that, but it's a different or rather pretty way of looking at bullets. And certain things, spatially, it makes understanding. In more than a visual tool, I consider it as a spatial tool. For example, here it is here. Like I can move this into this special thing. So I can do this in Logseq also. Okay, it's not that I cannot do it in Logseq or any linear note taking tool. But I'll show the problem there. I'm going to the outliner view. So if I had to move this emotional, so if I have this thing, if I had to copy like this, okay, it's already creating a problem. This okay, it's okay. So if I'm seeing it in a bullet list, I have to scroll up and down. I'm not seeing it in the same single canvas. And if I have to move something down from up, it's sort of a convenience problem. Okay. So there are nothing more than that. Some overblow this convenience, but for me, this convenience is actually a game changer because I can see all the main notes on the single canvas. Okay, but on Logseq or Notion, I have to scroll up and down, right? Okay, like this.
Correct.
That is something I think it's a little bit quite powerful than people give it that much of a credit. And I can move around it very, very quickly. For example, I have to like move around this very quickly. No, this is not this not this. So like, and I'm able to see the presentation quite moving in this one. So there are people who will say that we like a atypical brain, neurodivergent brain prefers to think in mind map. And all the neurotypical, neurodivergent, whatever it might be, it is always nice to have a different way of looking at our information. So you can try this out. It gives you like a little bit moment of epiphany. It's worth the wait. So maybe you will never even realize it, but it's worth trying it out. And there are tools which have become very, very advanced that you can sort of do. So each one for himself. Like if it benefits you, continue to do it. Otherwise, some people don't even want to. Like my presentations, I just first start with mind map. Some people prefer putting it on Google Slides. So yeah. So that's a roundabout answer.
Absolutely, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Satya, what I'm getting is the one that you said. I can. So Logseq, to some extent, it does this. Workflowy is something that I've used often. You can see the whole canvas. So here, what I see is you can see whole canvas, and it also helps you to think through and visualize. Especially, I think it is very good if you're a visual thinker.
Yeah. I'm trying to refrain from using the word visual because many times people visual thinking, they think of this doodle drawings, all those things. Maybe we can say it as visual. I would actually say it as like a more spatial arrangement of ideas, and it helps. That zoom in, zoom out effect is something really. I can zoom in and I can zoom out. So it's pretty. Somehow it is.
That is what is it specific to Xmind? Other tools have this particular feature?
No, almost every mind mapping tool has this structure. So the structure is same. So there is the central node in the center, and there is sub node. It's for like let me for example start a new. Just give me a second because they have a name naming convention. So they call it as central topic. Okay, JJ's mind mapping roadshow. And we have here, so topic 1, introduction. Topic 2, why the workshop, something like that. Story about. So I can just jot down. So basically this one. Then the review meeting, I can expand upon it. Shopify, Canada. So I'm just, if I enter, it's creating a subtopic, this one. If I give tab, it will create a subtopic. Another tab, subtopic. It goes on. So it goes on. So almost every mind mapping software follows this convention. So there is a main central topic, there is a main topic, then there is subtopic 1, subtopic 2, subtopic 3, and you can expand it like enter. I'm just entering it. If I do tab, it will go on.
Lovely. Okay. So this is something that I wanted to ask you. Can you kind of do it as we are talking? Can you take up a topic and then do a mind map? You have already done that, so which is good. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think we have some questions. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's Xmind. It's Xmind. Yeah. But again, this is one nice way of doing it. But if you guys like play along with me, if you don't mind, this is doesn't matter about the software or something like that. If you have a notebook, pen and paper, do you guys want to try it out? Like, I think this is something, one of those things where you have to experience it to like feel the benefit of it. Like, you guys want to try it out or something like that. Take a notebook, keep it in a landscape format, and just jot down the central topic or something like that, and just dump it. Is that something that you guys could try? Do you want to do it, Joseph, or others?
Yeah. Like I'm already starting to write.
Okay.
I don't know about others, whether they are with a pen and a paper or whatsoever.
I can give a prompt and structure. Is that something that you guys? Yeah.
So I'm already starting to restart. Yeah. Naman, you want to say, share your experience? You are saying you do it on pen and paper. You already do, or you are starting to do now?
Yeah, no, Joseph. So I already like prefer pen and paper more than using any other tool. I find it very useful, like for the journaling prompts, and like whether I want to write a blog. So before that, I prepare a structure and the points. I write it briefly. Like I do a mind mapping on the pen and paper only.
Perfect. Yeah, I think the tool shouldn't. But if you guys are sportive enough, can we give it a shot or something? I use like extensively. Like this is my like notebook. I do like mind map like extensively. Like just to, if I'm feeling sleepy, I'll do a mind map and put it down. Sometimes it's actually helpful when you're sleepy because you get this nice ideas when you're like cool down. I think Kurana sir wants to say something. He's unmuted. Or, I don't know. Somebody's unmuted and you are unmuted. You are muted, Joseph.
Yeah. I said I muted him.
Oh,
so
okay. So can we play this game, like this mind mapping game?
Yeah,
I can give a prompt.
Yeah.
So just write mind mapping game on the center, and I'll give you prompts. So this is something that I use. What are you thinking? Okay, this is the first thing. Please play along with me. What are you feeling? What are your concerns? What are good or positive? Just 4-point journal, like 4 questions. That's all. You can obviously do this in Logseq or any this one, but I think it simply helps. For example, what happens is that when I'm thinking, I'll write like, I am glad to do this mind mapping workshop for JJ's community. Like that, if I read. Then I realized, no, this is not thinking, this is actually feeling. Then I'll like put it in the feeling thing because I'm happy. So now I'm thinking how to conclude the session now that I started.
So this is what I mean, the whole thing. I don't know whether you are able to see Satya.
Yeah.
So I played along with your game, and this is what I see. And I had the same issue that you were talking about just now. Thinking I put in as happy to start Gravitas Win Show, and then I realized it's more of a feeling than thinking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's one good thing about software. You can move around, but it doesn't matter. Like you can always draw a line and do that. And yeah, so now I'm realizing how to conclude the session might actually be a concern. So like I'm moving it, but the good thing is that like at least I'm here with a set of motivated people interested about my. So I'm looking at I'm looking at this. So like this. So and again, good thing is that if you don't like this radial structure or something like that, so I'll try. So here in this format itself, there is an option. So this is this radial structure. You can do this structure also. Any type of mapping, like it just helps. And if you look at it, I think it sort of mimics that outline bullet list. So
I think the good thing in the at least in XMind, I'll have to explore in the other ones, is that you can quickly move between the two presentation formats. The
outliner.
And outliner and the mind map. And you can use mind map to kind of see the whole canvas and play around the canvas and zoom in. And then at some point in time, whichever is good for your outliner, you can move on to outliner. Yeah, you're right.
Correct. And there are tools are already matched. Like for example, Obsidian recently had a plugin with a mind mapping plugin. So they called it Canvas. I'm not a big fan of it because it's a little. I need this tab and enter thing. So this Obsidian doesn't have that. So Obsidian works more like a Miro sticky note. So you have to so it's like a floating topic. So this is a node. Then there will be another node. This is another node. Then what Obsidian asks you is that like it asks you to like link it like this. Okay. I don't. You can do this. So there are not just Obsidian. There is another thing called Scapel. All of these things. Even Miro you can use. Like Miro, put it as sticky notes. But this is like too unstructured for me. So I don't prefer this. There is also other tools like Scrintal, Heptabase. All these tools are so Scrintal and Heptabase. So these things are, or even there's another thing called Map. These are all note-taking tools. Unlike Obsidian say I'll compare Notion for example. Notion or Evernote. Notion, Evernote by default they are linear thinking first tools. Obsidian is trying to match or trying to add visual thinking as part of its note-taking thing. But Scrintal, Heptabase, Napkin and all, they are visual note-taking tools first. Okay, the entire thing is a visual format. It looks like a mind map, but I tried and all, but it doesn't seem to somehow click for me. So I just this one. Or again, I don't use mind mapping as a note-taking tool. I use it only as a brain-tapping tool. My note-taking tool, long-term storage is still Evernote. So or Google Docs. So that's like I don't even now use Notion. So that has been so yeah.
One thing I liked in what you said, Satya, is that you said, I mean, this is something probably that's how I'm using it, but I never articulated it in that particular way, is that you could have daily dump, which you are never going back. So it's more of a dump to kind of control your emotional regulation that you talked about.
Correct.
And then there is something that maybe you are reviewing it. You can go back, review it, but probably it is more personal. And then the third one that you said is it's more of a storage map.
Correct.
You are reusing it multiple times. Say, for example, you have this mind map workshop
Workshop.
presentation, which you reuse. So that's good to kind of categorize this particular usage, which is good. Satya, Bharti asks, Xmind is little expensive. Is there any other tool that gives you kind of this feature?
Okay. No, there are two things. So I am actually an ambassador for Xmind. If you want, I have like a 50% discount. This one. But on the other hand, you don't have to buy the software. It's actually the free thing itself is very, very gracious. This one. Only thing is that when you download, there will be a bookmark, like saying that like a small little mind map. If you export it as a PDF or an image, that's all. But otherwise, it's pretty. It's actually very nice. The free plan itself is very, very. So you don't need it. The other tools are you want.
Yeah, other thing, other question is, this is not second brain, right? Like this is something.
No.
This is about ideation, right? Something like.
Yeah. So I have my own opinion regarding second brain, especially with all the AI thing happening, and so I no, we are not talking about second brain. I don't think I'm an expert at it. Also, I'm just looking at mind mapping as a tool, and you can use it based on your own processes, like brain dumping, journaling, thinking, learning, or even a communication device like I am using. You can fit it to your context. Yeah. I'm just talking about the process, use case. Yeah, like you can creatively use it in whatever form that fits for you. Maybe it's a good segue to talk about this. Like for example, I usually categorize any cognitive process into 3 categories. So thinking, learning, communication. And by thinking, I'm simply saying that if I can get things from in to out, okay, I am thinking something, I want to get it out. So I consider that as thinking. So it could be ideation, ideating. It could even be brainstorming. I mean, semantically they are the same. It could even be planning. So I'm planning, like I'm thinking of something new, like cooking up something. Or the opposite of it, like retro, journaling, review. So I do my weekly reviews on mind map as well. So again, if it fits my mode, so you can do mind mapping as a thinking tool as well. You can also use it as learning tool, which I think many people on the internet talk about. Like you can use it for note taking, summarizing. You must have seen enough mind maps with book summaries or whatever summaries that you have, like students use for notes. So all those things that you can think of use. Communication, for example, I'm using it for communication. I prefer this way of presenting information rather than a Google Doc or a Google like PowerPoint or a keynote presentation or something like that. So this is a little more convenient so this is what helping. And I think there could be a 4th process, which could be like more like a meta thing, which I'm helping, like emotional, which for me it is helping emotional regulation, like anxiety management, like my episode of like preparing or pre-preparing for the review meeting with my boss. So just to get things out, it just like makes me look at it a little more objectively. You can also journal it. You can also put it on. So maybe that is something that you can. So whichever use case you want to, you can use it in whatever form that you want to.
Satya, you said communication. So I can understand which is more of internal for you. So thinking, learning, I can understand because you are doing, you can fiddle around and all of that. You said communicating and sharing also. So say, for example, if it is a GDoc, I can kind of share it publicly and have a link and then send it across. And it's the same thing with Obsidian or Logseq. I can export it as a text and I can send it to somebody. How do you use this as in that particular format, communication? Can you go a little deeper on that?
Yeah. Maybe articulate this one also. So by thinking, I'm saying it is getting something from inside to outside. By learning, I'm saying getting things from outside to inside. Okay. By sharing, I'm simply meaning getting from my brain to your brain. Okay. That is all at this one. So I can use this mind mapping as a presentation tool itself. That's one thing. The second thing is that, like you said, like XMind, MindMaster, they are also offering some collaborative features. For example, collaborative feature in XMind is a paid version. So you can invite your friends, invite your team to collaborate upon it, and they can add points here. So it becomes a collaborative canvas. So that's all. There is nothing. There's no other way that I personally. And you can always download it as an outline. For example, this entire thing, I can download it. Many times, for example, I don't trust my mind map to an external party because they, at least I'm not as comfortable as I want it to be. So what I do is that I just copy paste the entire outline. This entire outline is here. I copy paste and put it in a Gdoc and share it with them so that they can comment upon it or something. I think somebody was saying that they put it on a mind map, then they export it, like writing an article, writing an essay. You cannot write an essay here, right? Like people don't consume content as a mind map. So you can use it for that basic structure creation. Then after that, you can do it. But again, talking about it, it's pretty interesting. So writing, you can do it like this. So structure creation is something that you can do mind mapping for. And I heard from another editor. So he does something called reverse outline. What he does is that if his team or his writer sends an article, which is like 1,000 or 2,000 words article, he takes that article and he makes the mind map of that article, and sends that mind map to the writer and tells them that, look, you presented this idea in this section. Instead of that, can you move it to that section? So he's reverse outlining the entire article, and he's using mind mapping as a tool for reviewing and editing. So that's another use case for of using it.
This is the last one that you said is interesting. Purely for me, why it is interesting is one of the things that I do is reverse engineer. Like if I like an article, whether it is article, video, podcast, any of those kinds of stuff, I'll go back and see how they have made it. And then I like some, if it's a podcast, why do I like it? Is it only the content? Is it a presentation? Is it, I mean, why and all of those kinds of stuff? I asked that question. So probably that's something that is can be done here as well. You can reverse engineer whatever you like. That way you can kind of learn also. This is how they have done.
Yeah. So what you are saying specifically, I didn't want to add that. But what I do is that I would put that under synthesizing. So by summarizing, I'm differentiating between summarizing and synthesizing. I'm sorry, I'm nerding out here, but like I've been thinking about this idea for so long. By summarizing, what I'm saying is that I take the book or a podcast. This is the point 1 that they are sharing. This is the point 2 that they are sharing. This is the point 3 that they are sharing. And I'm following the same structure the author, the creator is sharing, and I'm basically structuring it in mind map or outline or whatever. That is what for me is summarizing. But what you are doing is synthesizing. That is what I think. So I consume this podcast. Okay, I'm not going back and going to write an exam about that podcast. So I'm not going to do that. So I don't have to summarize it. I want to synthesize it as part of my existing knowledge base, either in my head or something like that. So what I want to do is that I want to synthesize it. Hey, what did I learn from it? What does it remind me of? What I don't agree to it. Okay. So for example, I read this recently. I read this book called Slow Productivity by Cal Newport. And it is emphasizing the concept of deep work. It's emphasizing the concept of craftsman and first mindset. So I'm not taking summary. I'm not summarizing the book. Okay, summarizing the book means I will say what is chapter 1, what is chapter 2, and I'll take and from this what I'll do is that this is I'll write a quote from Carl Newport here, quote from Carl Newport here. So I'm not doing that here in synthesizing like this, doing like this. So I'm doing something a little bit meta from that. So that is what I believe that you are talking about. But reverse outlining, I'm talking a little differently. It's an editing process. So by editing process, so I have an article which is like a 2000 word article. So it has come to my table and I want to critique that article. So I take that article. It is not yet published. The article is not yet published. It's yet to be published. And I take that article. What I do is that I mind map that article exactly as the author has done. Now, because of the mind map, now that article, I can see the structure, the macro picture of that article. Then I can critique on the structure of it. Okay, I'm not learning from that article. I'm giving feedback to the writer for better structure, for better presentation, and I can tell the point 25 that you're making could actually be point number 1 because it is very powerful point. Why are you keeping it as 25th point? Okay, the point, the 10th point that you're mentioning shouldn't be in the section 2. It should be in section 5. So something like that, I can help in doing that. So am I making sense, Joseph? Like I'm trying to differentiate between what
Yeah. Probably like the first 2 points that you talked about, it is spot on. I'm able to grasp it. Summarizing and synthesizing what the difference and everything. Reverse outlining, I need to think through. But
okay, fine.
I get the point that what you are saying. It is more for giving feedback to an existing one. It is not about learning.
No.
More for feedback. I get that particular point, but I need to kind of conceptualize it and internalize it.
Correct, exactly. I think I hope I'm not like boring you guys. Like, but like any questions, any impressions, I can zoom. So I can also collapse this like this. Like again, this is the benefit of using a software. So, any impressions, any questions, any doubts?
At least for me, no questions, but it has been super useful so far, Satya.
Oh, okay.
I have one question. So you mentioned the free version is sufficient in itself. So is it available only for a personal use?
You cannot collaborate.
Free one.
The free one collaboration, that sharing thing, like a Google Doc sharing thing. I think
no, I think Amit is coming more from a point of view of so can he use it professionally also, the free version?
Right.
Can he use it for corporate use? Is there any kind of restriction on it? Like if you see Obsidian, Satya, you can use it free for personal use. But say, for example, coming from a software thing, if I put in code blocks, which I want to share with my team members, then it is a professional usage, and then you need to pay for it. I think Amit is coming from that angle.
No, I'm quite not sure, Amit. Yeah. No, I'm quite not sure. So we may have to.
Okay.
Yeah, Naman, you want to ask this question? It's a good one. Satya, we talked about planning. Naman wants to know. Naman, do you want to ask this question?
Yeah, sure. Satya, so I just wanted to understand like how we can use it mind mapping for like annual planning or quarterly planning and then reflecting on it.
Oh, so can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
So, definitely I use it like for me, planning is also thinking exercise. So I very much use it. So for example, let me take this mind map. So this is one file, and within that file, I'm not sure if you guys can see the bottom. You can see the dates. Like I keep on this one. So today's thing. So I'm renaming this one. So July 6th. Okay. And this what next part is actually the planning part for me. Okay, in a mind map like that. And obviously I can use it for just a sec. Use it for annual planning also. But as I said, like you can plan it, then I export it into Evernote if I want to have it for long term storage. So annual is little unwieldy for me. So what I'll do is that weekly review. I'm yet to do that. Maybe I'll show the last week's weekly review. Okay, this is my last week's weekly review. Can you guys see it?
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah. So what are the wins that I have? What are the fails, lessons that I learned, improve? What is the plan for the next week? So this is last week. I'm yet to do this week's this one. So I do that. These are all the wins, and within that win, I have this one. Like within the wins, I'll try to first I dump it like I bathed. So we have a 3 months old Shih so I bathed Tommy. So I'll just brainstorm it, played with my daughter and cousin. So I'll just add it. Then what I'll do is that I'll do it as personal, family. Then I'll go and I'll go add it like this. So I'll move it like I'll brain dump it, then I'll categorize it, or I'll categorize it first or brain dump it. This you can always use. One other use case I'll share it. So mind map, it's the Xmind also has an online version of it. It's called Xmind AI. I think they just bought the .aa domain because it's fancy. Previously it was xmind.com only. So here, for example, so I also brainstorm for this one, which I can share it. For example, there's a product that we have. Okay, the new product that we launched last week, and I was in charge of creating the website for it. Okay, I'm not using it to write the content, but I am using it to like add the landing page and what are all the pages that you need. So this is what should come in the hero section. And I brainstormed a couple of taglines and subtype like the hero, this one. Then what is the problem? That is the next section. Then what is the solution that we are offering? Then the next session. Then in about us, what should we write? This one. So so this is also planning for me. This is also planning and thinking. This I'm doing it in a after lunch time. So after lunch time, I'm feeling lazy, so I cannot do too much like this one. So what I do is that like let's open it up and do it for 5 minutes, then go for a walk, come back, add up on it later. Then I take this outline, export it into a Google document, and I have a very wonderful assistant called ChatGPT, and I ask it to expand it. It'll expand it, and I write content for it. And we published, I think, like in record time, we published this website because my boss was in Canada. So I think it helped us to this one. So we have to publish it within that like 1 week framework. We created this one themes and all these things. So that's that. so yeah, planning is also thinking. That's how I'm seeing it from that perspective. So that hope it sort of helps.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I don't use it as a storage device. I think you guys are like too much into this secondary thing. So I'm not an expert in that. And I don't think a mind mapping one tool would work as this. I wish it has this connections of this one. So it will look like a 3D, like Tony Stark does it in Iron Man movie. Like you click here, you go to that file, and like it shows up. I think the technology is not there. I wish it was like that. But I just use it for this this exercise. Then go back and use it in traditional linear way of storing it, because that is the current canvas. That's how the current canvas is available to us. Maybe in the future we may have much more three-dimensional spatial storage systems, but currently we are still looking at it from 2D lens, right? Like we have this X row, or X and Y row. So that's only available this one. So that's that. Any other impressions, any suggestions, questions?
No, I think different representations and different tools attract different kind of people. Like say, for example,
100%.
it's the same thing, right? I mean, even in a textual linear format, there are people who are attracted to Evernote. There are people who are attracted to Obsidian kind of
Correct,
things.
correct.
There are people who are into Logsec, Workflowy, Outliners. Similarly, like, and I mean, we'll find out what fits our thinking model, and we need to pick and choose that. So which is good. Yeah.
Good that we have plethora of choices. I think it's sometimes an advantage, but it's also a curse because we end up like don't know. But as of now, for me, this mind mapping seems like a different perspective of looking at the same content. Sometimes I just don't do a mind map. I just go for a walk. I just do like voice typing, like just brain dump whatever it is. Then I brain dump it. Then I have this 1,000-2,000 words of brain dump. Then I ask ChatGPT to summarize what is the thing. So you were talking about this thing, you're talking about that thing, you're talking about this thing. Then I go to that point and like see, oh, I was talking about these things and all those. So like that 10 minutes of walk gives me that space also. And yeah, it's not a magic bullet, but it's good to have it as part of your toolbox, one of the toolbox.
Yeah, I think you're right. So I have also started using that audio recording, both from using Audio Pen as well as I use another app called Drafts, which has a dictate function. So sometimes I, as you say, so this week, Amit is still here. So I had to send some reply, and I was between project reviews. I had probably like 5-10 minutes only between two project reviews, and I had to send out something. Normally, if I had to type, it'll take me a long time because I would think and all of those kinds of stuff. I got up from my seat, I recorded it.
Exactly.
And then, I mean, yeah, like as you say, probably like 500 words or whatsoever. Then it was easier for me to kind of edit it out. I finished everything in about 5 minutes,
Correct.
5-10 minutes, right? So yeah, as you say, we need to have multiple tools in our box, and then pick and choose what suits that particular situation, and then use it. That's how you become a lot more productive. And so you're right.
100% agreed.
Any other question from anyone?
Or even an impression, that will also be helpful, like impression about this mind mapping, this presentation. And I would welcome any contradictory thoughts also, because that's always beneficial for both parties.
Probably I will
Yeah,
stop.
I just want to, I'll just add two things. That what I could make out of this tool was something else earlier, but now with this workshop, I'm feeling it to be more helpful in structure thinking within the team, capturing and organizing our thoughts, what all possible solutions could be for a multi-dimensional problem, because there are few things where there are multiple constraints. So those things we can do better in mind mapping, and it's quite engaging. It's better with a better visualization. We can do at different aspects from a bird eye view by zooming out and zooming in. So and much more good for brainstorming. So that's from my side. It was really helpful. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Satya.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amit, you wanted to say something?
Just wanted to say I will definitely give it a try. I think my experiments with Logstack has been good. I will surely give it a try. I like the overall presentation.
Yeah, I've been probably like, I mean, pushing people to use any one of the note-taking tool, and I internally I gave a demo of both Obsidian and Logsec, and when I walk around, I see people using. I mean, you walk around in the office, I see people using Logsec, so I'm very happy about it. So probably now I will see some mind mapping coming out of my team. Yeah, Karunaji.
Hello, sir. I really enjoyed the presentation, and I thank you and Mr. Satya both, and all the friends who asked various questions. Your inputs were very valuable. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Satya, any concluding things before I stop the live streaming, and then we can probably stay along if anybody wants.
Okay. I have only other thing is that I have like a curated database of nice resources. Maybe I'll share it. For that I use Notion in case you guys. So it's all the best videos.
So I used to for a very, very long time, I used to think one application and that's it. It should cover everything, right? Obsidian or whatever that you use, and then it should have everything. So this guy, who is that second brain guy?
Tiago Forte.
Right. So he once shared, so he has been an Evernote guy, like everything he put in over Evernote and everything. So when he was writing the book, he shared the first chapter or whatever he was writing in Google Doc, and he asked for feedback or whatever. So I asked him, I thought you only use Evernote, and why are you sharing it in Google Doc? And he replied back saying that for collaboration and the commenting and everything, Google Doc is much better. That's when I realized, see, we always think, it should be one application and that's it, be it all, and all of those kinds of stuff. But people are free to kind of move around and use whatever tool suits their need. So in that particular fashion, Notion is useful in that.
Yeah, 100%.
That is one thing that I got from today also. Among all the other things that I got, one thing that I got is also, we need to be free enough to use multiple tools that fits the context and the situation as it demands.
And especially we may not want to agree to it. Like, for example, we say that the tool doesn't matter, the person matters or something like that. Sometimes the tool defines the person. So it is better to, if you are a Evernote person, just try out mind mapping for the sake of it, for the jolt it might take you. Or if you are a mind mapping person, try some other tool just to get yourself jolted upon. Because just to see it in a different canvas, it actually sort of seems to help. Especially when we know that 1% increment in our cognitive process helps in our output, and we are all this knowledge creative space we are working, and we cannot take it lightly. So if it helps, we should pursue.
I think it's a good point to finish there. Even if some tool will improve our cognitive ability by 1%, I think that's a gain that we can all have, and that's how we all improve. So thank you. So somebody said this, and I'll finish with this, Satya and everybody. Somebody said this, I don't recollect who it was. We choose the tools, and then the tools shape us. So in that sense, yes. Thank you, Satya, for this particular session. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. It is streamed into YouTube. I'll share the link as well.